everyone. First, let me wish everybody Happy New Year and ask everyone to keep safe and warm this winter. Thank you for joining us in person, and for anyone who's joining us by HPA-TV at home, welcome. I'm calling to order the meeting of January 22nd, 2024 to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Here.
Councilman Clark.
Here.
Councilman Gale.
Here.
Councilman Hernandez.
Here.
Councilman Mickham.
Here.
Councilwoman Rosado. Councilwoman Rosado. Councilwoman Rossetti.
Here.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Here.
Councilman Thomas. Here. We have a quorum, Madam President.
Councilman Rossetti has joined also. Rosado has
I
joined.
didn't get a here, but she didn't say here. Councilwoman Rosado.
She's on mute.
Okay. Okay.
All right, thank you. Mr. Clerk, can we all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening, we have 2 points of privilege for Majority Leader Ms. Rossetti.
Is this on? I feel like I'm a comedy show. Is this on? Before I start, I wanted to thank Charmaine Craig, who works with me in my council office, for all the work she did on these. Thank you very much. These points of personal privilege are personal to me. And also kind of on the heels of what our new mayor has started an office on small businesses, this seems very appropriate, even though we thought of this last year. It's 2 businesses that I'm very familiar with. One business that has now, after 50 years in the city, retired, wonderfully so, and another business that many, many years in the city is still with our city. So we wanted to recognize them, and I have citations for both, so I'm going to start with Shares, which has a real personal connection to me because my dad worked with his dad. So it's kind of nice. All right. And everybody knows I always cry. So this is Mike Lawton, Shares Automotive Center. Whereas Sheriff Service was founded in Hartford, Connecticut in 1949 by Sherwood Lawton, the first location was on the corner of the intersection of Maple Avenue and Brown Street. After many years there, they moved to the second location at 790 Maple Avenue on the corner of Preston Street. And whereas the third and present location is at 405 Washington Street, Shares Service moved from Maple Avenue to the present location in February of 1967. This location was owned and operated by Sherwood Lawton until August 1979, at which time he retired from the automotive business and sold the company to Michael Lawton, his son, who presently owns and operates the business known as Shares Automotive Center. They began the transition in August 1979 with the original staff and gradually improved the business to the point it needed more room. In 1984, the building was expanded and the old structure was remodeled to what is basically the building you see today. Whereas family owned and operated Shares Automotive Center, your one-stop solution for auto repairs and maintenance, has served Connecticut for 75 years. At Shares, they are committed to treating their customers and employees with honesty, respect, and professionalism. The focus is on providing quality parts and service at an exceptional value. That is why their customers in Hartford area have chosen to visit them for many years. And whereas the Shares family is comprised of Beth Reardon, office manager, part of the family since 1989, Jamie Garcia, technician, part of the family since 1996, John Diaz, technician, part of the family since 2004, and Rico Marquez, part of the family since 2010. This staff family works together as a cohesive force under the leadership and guidance of Mike, who stands behind his word with integrity while providing his technicians with significant opportunities for upward mobility. Now, therefore, be it resolved on this day, January 22nd, 2024, Majority Leader Rossetti, on behalf of the Court of Common Council and the residents of the city of Hartford, we acknowledge and congratulate Mike Lawton and his family, staff of Shares Automotive Center, for 75 years of excellence and commitment and investment to the city of Hartford. Thank you, Mike. Come on up. Come get it. Come get it. Here. No, thank you. And for people who don't know, Mike is really committed to not only to the neighborhood, but the staff who works with them, who fortunately or unfortunately, I know a little too personally because my car is in there off and on, but that's what you'd like to see somebody does. You bring the next generation up. You invest in people. When I had an office near your establishment, you often helped many of my staff with, sometimes a car that you thought, oh my God, why are we going to put any more money into this? But you knew that that was transportation for someone and you figured it out. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would you like to say one thing real quick? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Yeah, we don't have a big agenda.
This is a family thing.
Okay. Come on up. Come on, everybody. Come on. You don't want your wife to come. Everybody can come.
I'll stay next to the councilwoman.
There you go. Would you like to say one thing?
One thing.
Okay.
I would like everyone to know, I was born in Hartford, remain in Hartford, and I am honored that this council should consider us an important part of the city in this citation tonight. I am humbled and honored. So I thank everyone who is a part of this.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'll do the next one. Okay. All right, so our next one, a little different, but we have a long-term establishment who, again, stuck with the city, moved around over the years, and has retired, which is very nice. I think sometimes to his chagrin, but that's okay. So this is an interesting. Al Armstrong. Armstrong Rockwell watches and fine jewelry. Whereas Armstrong Rockwell Jewelers, a unique boutique-style store that closed its doors December 2023, was located in downtown Hartford, Connecticut for nearly 50 years. Established in 1976, the store on Trumbull Street had been an iconic destination of high-end Swiss watches and fine jewelry featuring ultra-luxury brands including Omega, Carl F. Butcher? I wasn't a big customer. IWC, Arnold & Son, Hearts and Arrow Diamonds. And whereas Al Armstrong, the owner, was pleased to share his passion for the world's most luxurious and exclusive timepieces and fine jewelry, he also strategically shepherded the store's evolution from humble beginnings to a high-end destination. Armstrong Rockwell Jewelers remained in the city in spite of the dramatic shift in the dynamics of downtown retail environment, with many stores relocating. And whereas through the 90s, Armstrong began to tailor his business toward a high-end market, catering to an affluent clientele, making the little jewelry store on Trumbull Street an international destination for those looking for ultra luxury. By the mid-90s, Armstrong Rockwell Jewelers was selling the most expensive watches on the market. Whereas among the more notable watches to pass through the shop was then the most expensive watch ever sold at $1 million. The Blancpain 1735, released in 1991, pioneered the minute repeater. The technology, which remains cutting edge, strikes out 3 different mechanical sounds for hours, quarters, and minutes. The watch, with more than 700 individual components, remains the world's most complicated produced automatic winding wrist watch. Minute repeater watches are among the most expensive in the world. And whereas Al Armstrong stated, "My store became known as a safe place to trust and spend insane amounts of money, customers were assured that we would deliver the right product for the exact condition we said it would be in. We never had one single complaint in all of our years of business. Therefore be it, on this day, January 22nd, 2024, Majority Leader Rossetti, on behalf of the Court of Common Council and the residents of the city of Hartford, we salute Al Armstrong, Rockwell Watches and Fine Jewelry, and commend your unparalleled customer service, commitment to authentic quality jewelry, and loyal, devoted service to the city of Hartford." Come on up. Have your family come. Have your family come. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on up. Photo op.
Thank you all.
You know what? And Mike, what are you so?
God bless. I'd like to thank the council for this amazing honor. I was born in Hartford Hospital, and I lived for the first 5 years on Front Street at the corner of Morgan Hill. That was cobblestone from the Moakley Bridge up to Main Street. And I've stayed in the area. I have to retire right now, but I am not moving to Florida. Not going to God's waiting room. And Connecticut's been a wonderful place to do business and have family and friends. And I appreciate the city. I've had many offers to be lured out of town, and I didn't really see a need for that. I made it happen here. So thank you, City of Hartford and neighbors and council members.
Thank you. Thank you. Here you go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, you want to say? Did we take? Oh, did you get the picture? Thank you.
Yeah, we did all that. Thank you, Majority Leader
Madam
Rossetti. That
President.
was very well done.
Just, I did speak with Councilmember Rosado, and she is now able to hear us and respond. I know she wasn't properly here, but she's.
Okay, I'm sorry, I
If we
did text her.
ask her, she'll be here now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Mitchum. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Great.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our regular scheduled business. Madam Majority Leader, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. Motion to approve the minutes of January 8th, 2024.
Second.
And a motion that's been properly made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Town Clerk.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Motion to place the following item on consent. 4.2, Council President Shirley Surgeon, Majority Leader Rossetti, Assistant Majority Leader Clark, Councilwoman Bilodeau, thank you, Councilman Hernandez, Councilwoman Rosado. Resolution establishing City Council rules. 4.3, Council President Surgeon, Majority Leader Rossetti, Assistant Majority Leader Clark, Councilwoman Bilodeau, Councilman Hernandez, Councilwoman Rosado. Resolution establishing council committees. 4.4, Council President Surgeon, Majority Leader Rossetti, Assistant Majority Leader Clark, Councilwoman Bilodeau, Councilman Hernandez, Councilwoman Rosado. Resolution to appoint the Majority Leader and Assistant Majority Leader.
Second.
Thank you. Motion has been made and properly second. Mr. Clerk? So I was going to say any discussion, and I saw your hand. Councilman Mitchum, please go ahead, sir.
Thank you much. I would just move that we'd move 4.2 to action because I think there will be a friendly amendment to, or I know I will make a friendly amendment to 4.2.
Sure. So we are going to withdraw 4.2 from consent and place it in action. Mr. Clerk?
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Madam Majority Leader?
Thank you, Council President. Motion to refer the following items. 3.3, Mayor Arulapalam, with accompanying resolution to accept ARPA grant of $5,000 from DPH to Health and Human Services. Agenda item 3.1, Mayor Arulapalam, with accompanying resolution confirming the appointment of Jonathan Harding to the position of Corporation Counsel to Committee of the Whole. 3.2, Mayor Arulapalam, with accompanying resolution confirming the appointment of Christopher R. Hayes to the position of the Director of Department of Public Works to Committee of the Whole.
Anything
Oh,
else?
yes, both Committee of the Whole meetings are on February 5th, 2024,
At 6 p.m.
at 6 p.m.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion has been made and properly second to move the following item to the Committee of a Whole onto HHS Committee. I'm sorry? Yep, I'm getting there. I just want to make sure we have no discussion. No discussion, great. Listen, by the time we finish this and we get to like September, I'll be a pro at this, okay? No, see?
And Majority Leader will be a pro at pronouncing the mayor's name.
We're working on it. So, seeing and hearing no discussion, Mr. Clerk?
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Madam Majority Leader? Action.
Thank you, Council President. Motion to place on action 4.1, Councilman Mixtum, resolution regarding minority party leadership.
Right, you seconding?
Just second.
Thank you. Motion has been made and properly second. Any discussion?
Well, Go ahead.
Councilman Gale?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. And it's at my request that the item is on for action. This is a similar item to an item that just went on the consent calendar, which pursuant to which the majority leader and the assistant majority leader of the Democratic Party were chosen. This resolution seeks to choose a minority leader. Rather missing from the resolution is that it's the minority leader of the Working Families Party. A little quick background. Many of the discussions that we have in political life in this country over the years have assumed a two-party system. And I think most of us are, very familiar with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and one tends to be in the majority and the other tends to be in the minority, and many of the rules that have come along through the years have been based on the fact that you have these two parties. As it turns out, however, we haven't always just had two parties, nor do we continue to just have two parties. And in the city of Hartford, we have multiple parties, including the Working Families Party and the Hartford Party. And we have a Republican Party that is not even represented here on the dais of the Hartford City Council. So what we have before us tonight is a resolution to appoint someone as a minority leader. Traditionally, in other bodies, not the Hartford City Council, but in other bodies, the United States Congress, for instance, the majority and the minority leader are chosen in caucus. These are not votes that are put to all 435 United States congresspersons or 100 senators. In the state of Connecticut, at our General Assembly, State Senate, and our State House, again, these votes of majority leader, minority leader are taken in private. They're secret. It's a party, the particular party choosing its leadership. A city council in Hartford has somehow, in the past, sought fit to have these decisions voted upon, while indeed really there's no true vote. I think the Democratic Party would be aghast if someone were to make a motion that somebody other than a Democrat be named as the majority leader of the Democratic Party. And likewise, I think it would be totally ludicrous to have someone make a motion that one of the Democrats be the minority leader of city council. And yet that could happen because it's a vote of 9 people, and any 5 people could cast that vote. So I have just the smallest bone to pick with council for even putting these things on the agenda, despite the fact that it's been done in the past. Just because we've been wrong in the past, I don't think is reason to continue to be wrong in the future. And I would encourage future councils not to put these things on the agenda. But because they're on the agenda, and I already consented to the Democratic leadership appointments, and I fully expect that the minority leadership will be approved here tonight, I do want to simply make the point, A, it's ludicrous to have it on here, but B, more importantly, from my standpoint, everyone should know that in appointing, or actually voting for, it's not really an appointment, it's voting for a minority leader, this person is not the leader of the Hartford Party. This person does not represent me in any way, shape, or form. I love my colleague dearly, but we're of different political parties and different persuasions, and that needs to be respected. So I respectfully dissent from this being here, but make the point that whatever the election here is not a minority leader of this city council. It is the minority leader of the Working Families Party to this city council. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Councilman Mitchell.
Just by way of explanation, because I put the resolution forward, I think Councilman Gale raises a good point, and I actually, when I first started on council 4 years ago, I thought it was odd that I should vote for the majority leader one way or the other. But practically speaking, we call it majority leader and we call it minority leader, but practically speaking, the majority leader has a particular role in conducting parts of this meeting and in stepping in when the council president isn't here. The majority leader doesn't have an extra vote. They don't lead the majority in any defined way. They just do this thing, and we've decided to call it majority leader. We could call them deputy council president, which is kind of what they act like. And then this whole argument would fall by the wayside. By the same token, I have put forward Councilman Thomas because, per charter, the minority leader, which it's in there, whatever it is, sits on the dedication committee. Councilman Thomas is a lifelong resident of the city. His roots here are certainly much deeper than mine, and he wanted to be on the dedication committee, and I thought he was the guy for it, and this is the way to get him on there. So if it makes anyone feel better, let us be clear. He doesn't lead the minority in any substantive way other than with his charisma and good looks. But I am nominating him. I've put this forward so that he will be on the dedication committee.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other discussion? Any other?
Through you, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
It's for Councilman Gale. There is nothing stopping you from introducing a resolution to appoint you as the Hartford Party leader, if you have thought about that.
If I may, Council President. Sure. Councilman Clark, you raised an excellent point, and in fact, we went through this exercise 4 years ago, and at that time, I did just that. I sent a letter to the town clerk, which is what I encouraged the minority party to do this year, and I encouraged the majority party to do the same thing. I sent a letter to the town clerk for the official files of the city of Hartford, indicating that the Hartford party had had a dramatic caucus. It was a tough fight, but that I emerged as the leader of the Hartford party, and so I had that recorded, that I am indeed the minority leader of the Hartford party, and I intend to do the same thing again, so that there is a record with the town clerk that I am the minority leader of the Hartford party.
Okay. Go ahead.
Through you, Madam Chair. So, Councilman, I have no problem if you want to introduce a resolution for our next council meeting to be recognized as we're taking these votes for leadership, for you to introduce a resolution that actually will recognize you on the dais as the Hartford Party leader. That's just food for thought.
I would ask my colleagues if they'd entertain a friendly amendment to their resolution appointing Alex as the minority leader, to add to it that he's the minority leader of the Working Families Party and eligible to go to the Dedications Committee, and John Gale is the minority leader of the Hartford Party.
I think I would love to have further conversation with you, but I think it would be something that we should put forth at an upcoming meeting.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
No.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
yes,
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Of course, yes.
Motion passed.
Great. Madam Majority Leader, I believe, any other items on the agenda?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I make a motion to place on action 4.2, Council President Surgeon, Majority Leader Rossetti, Assistant Majority Leader Clark, Councilwoman Bilodeau, Councilman Hernandez, Councilwoman Mally Rosado, resolution establishing city council rules.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Mitchum.
Thank you. I would offer a friendly amendment, and I circulated to all of the council members a sheet with 3 amendments, but I'm only putting forward 1 because it's the only one that has the support of enough of my colleagues, and I will apologize to Councilman Hernandez because I think he's the only one I didn't get to speak to about this. But what I am proposing is that in Roman numeral 9, almost all in the last paragraph, right before Roman numeral 10 begins, of these proposed rules, the second sentence of that last paragraph says, assistance to each standing committee for the purpose of preparing reports shall be provided by the council staff, who shall be supervised by the town and city clerk for this and all other administrative purposes. That's what it says now, and I'm proposing that we change who shall be supervised, to whose efforts shall be coordinated. That is the proposal. The reason for it is simply to make clear that it is all of our desire that our council aides participate in shared duties that are not strictly related to one council member or another, and obviously those duties should be coordinated by the town clerk. However, still the council aides answer to the council members. So if there's a problem with a council aide not doing their shared duty, not doing a report, not doing whatever, it shouldn't be the clerk who's in charge of disciplining them or writing them up. They should come to the council member and say, please discipline them or write them up or do whatever you have to do to get them to do this work. So this is a very minor language change to express that sentiment. And that is my friendly amendment proposal.
Any other discussion?
Second.
So the amendment has been, friendly amendment has been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing or seeing none? We're voting on the amendment for the council rules with that small change. Okay? All right. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
yes,
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Clerk. Any other items on the agenda, Madam Majority Leader? I'm sorry?
As amended.
Oh, as amended, so okay, go ahead, discussion.
Thank you, Council President. Briefly, I just will note that the other friendly amendments I proposed, which I did not win the support of enough colleagues for, were amendments I have essentially proposed in the past, which would have allowed the public to ask questions of council and council to answer when we have public comment and public hearing. I still think that's a good idea. I think we should telegraph to the world that we are open to public criticism and to be put on the spot and to be ready to answer on the spot, not just privately or via email, but when the cameras are rolling. I could not persuade my colleagues of that, so I'm not proposing that one, but I'm just putting it out there.
Any other discussion?
Through you, Madam President, just want to ask, were these amendments filed with the clerk's office? Okay.
Through you, Madam President.
Yes, sir.
This copy was provided to the clerk, but of course this copy has 3 amendments, and I've only
Right.
proposed 1, so I will provide the properly
friendly.
updated one
Yeah.
forthwith.
No, just wanted to make sure, just for clarification, since we all were provided a copy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. Madam Majority Leader.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. To Councilman Mitchum's comments, and certainly I appreciate his efforts and sentiment, and never being someone to shy away from being criticized. I do think that we have been open. There is procedure. There are Robert's rules. We are a governing body. We also, when something is an issue that will take time, it takes more time than questions here. We need to address it in a bigger forum on a separate date. So I think the opportunities for the public to speak are there. We are always available, and if people feel that we aren't, I need to know that. But I think the way we run it is if you look at other municipalities and bodies across this country, that is how a governing body is run. So I appreciate the sentiment and the efforts, and that's my comment, Madam President.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Any other comments? Hearing none, we're going to be, Mr. Clerk, we're going to be voting on the friendly amendment of the council rules as amended.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
yes,
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Now, before we conclude the meeting, a couple announcements, which we're going to start doing, reminding our audience that we had 2 items on the agenda that we will be sending to the Committee of a Whole, which is called the COW meeting, and that is resolution recommendation from our mayor regarding the appointment of Corporation Counsel and also the appointment of the Public Works Director. And that meeting is going to be held on February 5th, Monday, at 6 p.m. We also referred an item to the Health and Human Service Committee. You know, everyone know that we're still in sort of a COVID era. We have received some money from the state for the vaccine. The Health and Human Service Committee will be meeting on Tuesday, February 6th, I believe, at 6 p.m. Okay, and so I encourage our residents to actually tune in. It is a hybrid meeting, and they will be able to watch these committee meeting. I'm sorry? Virtual. It's a virtual? Oh, okay, which one, yours? Okay, I'm sorry. The COW meeting will be hybrid. The Health and Human Service Committee meeting will be virtual. Okay, thank you for that correction. And also, before I end the meeting, I also want all our residents and all our council to welcome our new acting corporation counsel to us that's joining us today on the dais for the first time. So welcome, sir. Look forward to meeting with you. Those are my announcements, and just reminding the residents that our next council meeting will be February 12th. We have a, I call it at 6 p.m. Comment section from 6 to 7. So please join us. And also, don't forget to watch our Inside Council Chambers. Before each council meeting, we talk about what's on the agenda, explain to the community what we're doing, what's going to be voted upon. So before each council meeting, please tune in to us. And so I call this meeting to end and wish everybody to stay warm. Good night.